And now something completely different.
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you live just outside.
I like to think balding is just God's way of saying, now let's see you get laid.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
What I'd really like to do is put the greatness of this man in perspective.
The hair loss community has a lot to be thankful for, having you as a spokesperson.
You mean you just call this guy up?
About life and about reality.
And now, America's #1 reality radio show for men. Live from Los Angeles, it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. We're only 25 minutes late, but thank you so much for hanging out and tuning in. And for everyone who is waiting for the broadcast on iTunes Radio, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, you probably didn't even know that we weren't on because you probably turned it on, heard us talking, did not realize that they were running a replay. And we just cut into that replay. So welcome to the broadcast. Listen, when it rains, it pours. First, I was a little late. Joe was a little late. And then I opened up my rig. It's all fucked up. And someone's complaining in the chat room about me cursing. Tell that.
No.
You tell that?
In the comment section of a previous episode.
Oh, fuck him.
Not the chat room, but the comment section.
Yeah. Tell that to Gary Vee, the biggest influencer in the world online. If you think I curse too much, look.
He fucking cursed.
Yeah. As soon as I got off radio and I had the ability to speak my mind in the way in which I like to express myself, I chose to do that.
It's a good choice.
Well, I don't find it to be anything that is kind of like, out of the way when it comes to this really screwed up industry.
I think sometimes the proper colorful metaphors apply to this industry.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, by the way, guys, 888-659-3727. Joe, how is my sound? Any clipping? Everything good? Because this thing just basically went blank.
Nope, everything's good.
And
how about mine?
Yours is good. My Stream Deck is not working. So essentially, in order for me to do the shots today, I have to scroll manually. Big pain in the ass. I could do this. That's about it. What's up? What are you looking at?
Joe, your highway photos look like a parking lot. Is it that bad in Vancouver?
People are really...
Oh, I know what he's talking about. From a couple weeks ago, I think, when I made the announcement we weren't on the air because I was stuck in traffic. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh.
It's bad in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Not like Seattle, not like LA, but it's bad in Vancouver.
I would say LA and DC are the worst. New York is bad because it's small, Manhattan, small island, But New York and DC, DC and LA, essentially, if you have to go to work for a living and commute, you're spending a good portion of your life in a steel coffin going back and forth.
Yeah. I know that back in the last decade, Seattle was number 3 for worst in the country because they keep growing in size, but they're not building more roads.
That's not good.
And some of the roads are being taken over by partial bike lanes, making it even worse, which is always bad.
Well, now LA, and guys, I'll take your calls in a second. Now we are overrun with these like birds and, scooters and, Uber scooters and bikes and shit just laying all over the place. It's insane. You have to watch your ass just trying to cross. Just walking on the block.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. It was actually kind of like they guerrillaed this in. They just dropped them off one day without trying to get permits or anything like that. Kind of brilliant as far as people are going to be attracted to this. But most people who use these things don't give a shit. They just literally throw them on the side of the road or right in the middle of the street when they're done with them.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
LA is really becoming just a really difficult place to live.
California.
Yeah. But anyway, I could really bitch a lot today because it was a very interesting day, very interesting week when it comes to the hair loss industry and bitching as well. And I was going to, you know what, I'm going to put the shot over there for 1 second because I have a book over here that I was asked to write a cover blurb for a while ago. And it's a textbook, hair transplant textbook, that was actually published in Asia, but for, in English and for the world and for all new, basically it's kind of like Hair Transplants 101, really, it was an intense but also a very basic guide as far as...
Is this one I reviewed?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
But, my cover blurb was on the back, which is great. There's a lot of people in different industries, usually not the hair industry, that have asked me for cover blurbs for their books in my career. And I wrote what I thought was a very powerful and impactful and honest cover blurb because I thought that this was a very impressive piece of work compared to some of the boring textbooks that I've read. I got an email today basically saying, who the fuck do you think you are about this cover blurb? And I'll get it in a second. So it's on the other end, and I want to read it verbatim. But,
I got to hear that.
And I also, and this is okay, and we can talk about this because I hash it out with this doctor who I happen to like. We're friendly. I thought I'd known this guy for a long fucking time, and I was like,
that's what he emailed you saying, who the fuck do you think you are?
This is after.
We're friends. But...
Yeah. No. First, this happened last week. Or was it? I don't know. And it was a very interesting, emotional week for me anyway. A lot of stuff, personally, and, kind of like figuring out, what, is it worth continuing on this vein to, really do what we need to do to change this field, which is going to take a tremendous amount of work, or do I just go to Costa Rica? It got to that, or whatever. Just move to a place where I can just Key West or whatever, and just fucking live, and let everybody go fuck themselves. But these two events made me think to myself, fuck, again, I cannot leave. I can. Also, a guy who I had no idea through Instagram, and I get this one, several times a week, but this was a nice one, wrote to me that he's been listening to the broadcast for 20 years. I had no idea this guy was a listener. Just DM'd me through Instagram, and he said, and I posted this on Instagram, said, thank God for Spencer Kobren. Basically, it was like, how the fuck did people get away with this? And he sent me an ad for something. And then he wrote that. So, all of these events keep me going. But there are days when I'm just like, you know what? I spoke to my accounting firm, my accountant, who I've had for 24 years. And he's like, yeah, if you feel like leaving, you can. You got to make a little bit of a smaller life for yourself, but you can make that happen. But Joe, you made me privy to an incident. And it wasn't that terrible, but it was just kind of like, come on. So apparently, last week on the broadcast, I was talking about an Instagram account, and I was, according to this person, ranting and raving. That's what I do. It's a show, Part of what we do is we try to entertain you guys while we educate everybody. Do you think I turn off this mic, turn off this camera, turn off these lights, and start going nuts in the green room?
You, sir, are a wild man.
Yeah, I have some lack of self-control. So I wrote this guy who I happen to like, and I'm just like, have you ever met me, like in person, dude?
That was rhetorical?
Yes. And, but we hashed it out. But, from what you told me in the brief conversation we had, it was a long conversation. There was a transcript being read. So they took the time to transcribe our fucking show, which is awesome.
I wish will they turn it over? I'd like to have a copy of it so we can upload it.
Upload it. And what's even more funny to me is that, he did say, well, it must have been a misunderstanding, but you could see it's a big coincidence. I'm like, that's what the word coincidence means, my man.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
just
call me. I'm right here. I'm available.
I completely forgotten about this. Like, so much has happened since that day. It's like so far. It's like filed away back behind so many new files.
But I just feel bad that this particular person felt anything about something that was not even addressing him, and that he took time.
No. Let me interrupt you. You shouldn't feel bad. And if this doc is listening,
but I do. That's how I am. I have guilt all the time.
You just made Spencer feel bad for no reason. Bad doctor.
Well, honestly, I have a tendency to let's put it this way. I like to get straight to the point. I don't like any shit that's happening behind the scenes or behind my back. Like, you got an issue with whatever, let's deal with it right away.
I also want to make it clear that absolutely no one watching or listening to this broadcast knows what the hell we're talking about.
That's yes. Good point. Because no one knew what the fuck we were talking about before.
No phone calls saying, why are you talking about me? Because right now we are talking about you.
Yes.
And I'm joking around
in a respectful way. I'm just talking about what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So we're out there. We're telling you guys the truth about what's happening. I'm venting about what's happening on Instagram, and there's a person out there who believed that we were speaking about them, and it got them to the point where they were so riled up, or their patient was allegedly riled up, that they felt the need to transcribe the show, have a 2-hour conversation with Joe before contacting me, and just saying, hey, Spence, listen, were you talking about me? How easy would that have been? Anyway, I invited him over to the studio, and I'm like, listen, man, come over, bring your wife, let's go have a couple of drinks. That's it.
There you go. And that wasn't hard. It's like, once a phone call was made, it's like, really? Was it really that tough? Next time, go to the source.
But then there's a part of me is like, does he actually still believe me, or does he just want to keep the peace?
Doesn't matter at this point.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Because apparently, everyone, this industry, they have never heard, there's never been so much negative talk about me ever in this industry, which I find incredibly hard to believe. Because when I came out in 1998, not only was I naming names, I was playing the theme to which we had the rights to. I was playing the theme to The Godfather.
Yeah.
On the fucking radio show, talking about certain players in this field as being essentially for lack of a better term, mafioso, like the hair loss mafia.
The mafia doesn't exist unless you know about my family. The safer you'll be.
That's true.
Yes.
All right, guys. So that was very cloak and dagger. We'll talk about the cover blurb in a second, but we have a full board, and you know what? I think it's more important to take your calls than to talk about the shit that's going on in the industry right now, because you have some questions. Phone number is 888-659-3727, 888-659-3727. Let me go live on Instagram just for a second and see if I can make this happen. And by the way, I want to thank Dr. Alan Bauman for realizing that I was using a work light as my tripod last week, and he sent me a little surprise.
Oh, he said that to you? Yeah. I saw it when we were getting set up.
Check it out.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's dope. It's like that was the most thoughtful thing. Yeah. I couldn't even believe how thoughtful that was.
That's what I like about it. See, Dr. Bauman, he's aware. That's one of the things I like about him. He's just aware.
Absolutely.
And when I say that, aware means he does the right thing at the right moment.
And he understands where the value is as far as what we're doing for this industry and what we're doing for the people who depend on it.
Yeah.
And he appreciates us.
Yeah.
The IHRS, me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, bring a tear to my eye. Anyway, 888-659-3727. It is 888. Let's see how to go live. 888-659-3727. We are live. Give us a call here at The Bald Truth. Let's see. All lines are lit. Let's see what we got here. Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Morty from Florida, first caller.
Holy crap, Morty, you're just monopolizing the show.
I just know how to get in. I was waiting for you guys to come on live, and as soon as I heard the music, I dialed in. That's how it works.
Dude, it's exactly how it works. And anyone, I'm old school radio, and anytime I want to call a radio show, and I have to admit that I used to prank call as a kid. It's kind of like a big thing when I was a kid. You had to know how to time it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up, man?
If you don't get in early, yeah, I'm good, man. First of all, thank you for answering my Instagram chat and telling me to call in, which is one of the reasons I am. And I'm calling in because I wanted to kind of give my little report from my experience with Dr. Greco yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So here goes.
Awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
So, yeah. So I went out to see Dr. Greco for two reasons. One is because I wanted to do a follow-up on the PRP that I had done to my scalp back in December. And the other was I wanted to have some more of my joints dealt with. So I went up to him, and we talked for a bit. It's funny because they were like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I was going to do scalp, but I have like a couple of joint issues I want to address at once." And they're like, "Well, we can't really do more than the scalp and maybe one or the joint." And I said, "Well, can we? I don't want to make this decision over the phone. I want to talk to Joe and get his opinion in terms of what's what, so that I can make a decision about how I want to do this." So I went out there and I met up with Joe Greco, and I asked him frankly. I said, "Look, we did the PRP with the scalp. I can't really say with any real certainty that it did anything more than if I had just continued with whatever other therapies I was doing. And you guys know that I've kind of plateaued in terms of hair growth. I mean, I got some, and there's no doubt about it. But as I've probably said on a number of different calls, I'm not seeing what I'm going to consider cosmetically significant for me. So I decided. So he said, yeah, he kind of agrees with me. He said, basically, look, he said this stuff can't put follicles where there aren't any. He says if you don't have any follicles to thicken up, it's really not going to do much. And we kind of knew that going in. So I wasn't, I didn't have sour grapes about taking a chance with it the first time around, but I wasn't going to throw good money after bad. So instead, I ended up doing 3 joints. I got my shoulder, my elbow, and my my left Achilles tendon dealt with.
You did tell us just to I don't mean to interrupt you, but you did say that you had really significant success with platelet-rich plasma into your joints, right?
Yes, and that was the main reason I went down there. And it's true. I had my right Achilles tendon worked on, and it definitely improved. I was able to run again, so much so that I began to notice that my left Achilles tendon was bothering me, which means that I was obviously running a lot harder. And I had some pitcher's elbow, and I had a bit of nastiness with my shoulder, and so I figured, what the hell? Let me give this a try over on those parts. So,
dude, we are falling apart, man. I have golfer's elbow in both elbows. My knee. you see me if I get on the basketball court, I am just wrapped up like an old person.
Oh God! Well, good for you for going out there, man. Keep at it. So
hey,
then,
wait a second. I'm not that old. Keep at it. Keep at it.
Keep at it. Keep at it, Spencer.
I'm telling myself that, man.
You'll get there.
You can do it, man.
We believe in you. God bless you.
Goodness. So anyway, so then I just said, I have one more question for you, Dr. Joe. And I said, what about a hair transplant, And so then he just kind of switched gears, which was kind of interesting to watch. So he brought me back into his office, and it's funny. He has all of these awards that you guys talk about, which is the most hilarious thing. Like he's got this little bronze statue of David, like Michelangelo award, I think it is. He's got.
I was actually I was awarded, or I was offered to be awarded the Michelangelo award. I guess I could have that in my office as well.
Yeah, exactly. And a little Michelangelo's David in your office, and he's got all these plaques everywhere and all this kind of stuff. And, we got to talking and if you remember, I actually did go to a face-to-face consult with Dr. Wesley back in New York. So I kind of know what the deal is. The guy said, he says, if you don't mind, I'd like to draw something on your scalp. And, so he went ahead and he drew a hairline.
He drew a smiley face.
And I, actually, it's really funny. He drew the line for the main, like for the frontal hairline, and then he drew 2 additional lines for the parietal humps that were further back. I looked at that picture when I got home, and it looked like he drew a penis on my head, dude. That's what it fucking looked like. Because I took a picture of it, and because I wanted to compare it to what Wesley drew, and then I looked at it and I said, these lines, the way they're intersecting, it's like, okay, this is the fucking head of the dick, and then this is the fucking shaft over in the mid scalp.
Well, it's very possible he did that to you.
And he's selling me really hard on FUT, and he's saying, like, we can't really do the same volume of grafts with FUE, and like he's getting really excited talking to me about how he wants to do like 2,000 grafts in the first procedure, and then he was talking about that we need to do a second procedure, and then all this, and I'm like, they're just being very nice and smiling and nodding, but I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Well, I will tell you this. Joe has been around for a very long time, and you know that he is a PhD and a PA. So
yeah, he's a brilliant guy. There's no question about it.
Right, but you also have to understand that he is a guy who is, and as I am too, but he sees strip as being the gold standard, especially for people who have significantly bald, who have a lot of hair that need to be moved. But when you told me about considering having surgery, especially strip surgery, from the images that I've seen of you, and also just getting to know your personality, there's no fucking way you're a candidate for surgery, in my opinion, or at least for strip.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% on board with that. I really do not want to even consider it. He did show some pretty compelling pictures in terms of strips where he showed this one example, a guy who's really closely cropped in the back. His hair was really it was very short, and he didn't really see a line there. But again, I don't know if my donor density is that high that if I can cut it that short that it would be invisible. And why chance it? You know what I mean?
Well, I know what you mean. We've been talking about this forever.
Never look at any of these surgeries as something that, well, like if you have any characteristics that allow you to do anything that, that you want as your ultimate goal. I'd love to be able to shave my head down really short, and I just don't know if the density is high enough to allow that to happen to cover the scar. Don't expect it. Mm-hmm. Like, lower your expectation. And this is what we've been talking about for quite a while, Morty. You lower your expectations where, I hope I can wear my hair 2 inches long to cover the scar. Then you might be happy. Mm-hmm. And then if it's better than that, then it's gravy. It's bonus.
Do not do it. I love Joe. I think that he has brought so much to the table as far as platelet-rich, essentially introducing platelet-rich plasma therapy to this space. Sadly, so many people have ripped him off, in my view. So many people have taken advantage of just the narrative and the term, PRP. And we all know not all PRP is created equal. I think Joe just does not get his just deserves his props for really learning how to do it right and taking the time to concentrate on the science of it. as opposed to just trying to make a quick buck.
Right.
No, there's no question about it, and that's why I went back, because I got some good results with my joints, and you know, if there's anyone out there who do, you know, they've gone the route of, you know, cortisone shots or you know, or physical therapy, and it just really hasn't cut it. This is, in my opinion, it's certainly worth trying, because it doesn't. The cost isn't very high, and it's quick. It's an outpatient type of thing. And, you know, if it works, great. You know, hey, if it doesn't, well, you're not out that much money, and it's totally worth giving it a try, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, as far as the hair replacement is concerned, you know, I mean, his work doesn't look bad, but you know, he's not a first tier guy. I mean, he's not an IHRS member. Nothing against him. I like the guy a lot.
Well, he can't be an IHRS member because he's not a physician.
Oh, really? I did not know that. Huh.
So he's a PhD and a PA. So is he able to do what he does legally? In the state of Florida, he is, but he is not a physician. And as far as, you know, everything that he incorporates into his practice, you know, he has worked under the auspices of a physician for many years. He actually used to work with Ron Shapiro. So as far as being elite, I would say that if I was able to bring Joe on board the IHRS, he would be considered an elite hair transplant specialist, in my view. Absolutely one of the best in the country. But
well, I stand
he's not an MD or DO.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I like the guy, and he's. I'm going to probably go see him again. No, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. No, I'm going to go visit him again in January, because I'm going to bring my mom over there, because she's got some nerve damage from Bell's palsy, and I want to see if he can work his magic with that. So
how long ago did she have Bell's palsy?
It's going on like 5 years now, and she just never recovered some of the movement. Some of the nerve damage is permanent. So. And she's 84 years old, so we're not, you know, I'm not hoping for miracles, but you know, she gets her eyes tear up, and she has trouble seeing, and I'm hoping maybe, I don't know, I'll have him evaluated. He thinks it's worth it, that I may go through with it, but you know, and if she's willing to go through with it, but you know, I figure it's about the only real hope at this point, because she's been to the regular doctors, and you know, they've done as much as they can with her, which is, you know, and. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll probably visit him in January for that. And plus, I want to get a follow up on my left Achilles. It's definitely stronger, but it still has some twinges. So, you know.
Listen, Morty, you think you can get back to the hair show or what?
Yeah, man, you go ahead and do it, guys. I love you guys, man. Always a pleasure talking to you. One last thing about the hairline that he did draw. His hairline he drew was a lot more aggressive than what Wesley drew. Which is another thing that was kind of a red flag for me. So, you know, I'm just going to keep on going, man. We'll see where life takes me.
Well, and I will say this, and I always give Joe Greco his props. He has never been able to provide me with any financial compensation, and I wish I could take his money because he's a really good guy. He's a really caring professional in this field. But the issue is, you know, I can't accept anyone into the IHRS currently unless they are a physician. Now, as we're expanding things, you know, I would like to start highlighting some of the better assistants and kind of letting people know who's doing the work and give them full disclosure on who's doing the work. The problem with that is there are physicians out there who do not like the idea of their assistants being on their profiles because they're afraid their assistants will be poached. That is how fucked up this industry is.
Yeah, I've heard you say that many times. It's so crazy. It really is.
Listen, Morty, thanks for the call. Good luck, and I'm glad you called us about, you know, your potential of having surgery. Personally, I know that you know, Dr. Greco knows what he's doing. I don't think you're a physical or an emotional candidate for strip. I'm not a physician. That's just my 2 cents.
And Spence, that's the reason I haven't done it yet. So I listen. That's what I do. You guys have a good night.
All right, Morty. Thanks a lot. You take care. Hey guys, phone number is 888-659-3727. We are live on all of our resources, iTunes Radio, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, Joe Tillman's personal YouTube page, which is youtube.com/hair transplant mentor. Of course, you can see the video also live on thebaldtruth.com. We are on GFQ Network. We are on your Roku boxes and some other places. So I should know all these resources. So we have a full board, but feel free to call in. Still don't have a business signal connected to this line for a couple of reasons. One, I have not gotten in touch with Vonage yet to make that happen. It still seems to be going to a kind of like a, what is that called? Into a queue where if you don't get on right away, if you don't hear my voice or Joe's voice, it basically takes you into like a mailbox situation where it tells you to press 1 or 2. That means our lines are busy. Don't press anything. Just keep calling back. That is our bizarre business signal for this broadcast, which will eventually be fixed when I get my shit together. 888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hey, man.
Yep. Hey, guys. This is Hui speaking from England.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's Hui speaking from England.
How do you pronounce your name again? Hoyt?
It's Hui speaking, Hui, from England. I don't know if my connection is great.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm in holidays.
I recognize you. I know who you are. I recognize the H to your name and the fact that you're calling from the UK. For some reason, I cannot get the name complete. So is it Hoyt?
Hui, R-U-I, Hui.
Hoy, R-U-I.
R-U-I. I just call... R-U-I. I'm from Portuguese. I just called the show like twice.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding my guys. How you guys doing? Are you right?
Good.
We're good. How's the weather in the UK right now? Where in the UK are you?
Yeah, I am in near London. So I'm like 1 hour from London. Yeah, the weather is okay. It's not like great because I'm from Portugal. The weather in Portugal is summertime, so it's always like really hot. But
I gotta tell you, man, there's nothing. I love the people, the Brits, and I love the some of the culture. The weather just depresses me in general. It's a very depressing place for me to be.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I'm living here. I don't have nothing to say. Everyone is treating me really great. I don't have nothing to say at all. But I'm living here for 8 years. As you guys know, I think you guys know, I am a nurse. Actually, I'm thinking to move. Sorry?
I remember that, yeah.
I'm thinking to move to Canada or to U.S. So I'm just having this idea in my mind. I just need to mature. I don't know if it's a good step for my career and in terms of financial and everything. But I heard great things, even in Canada, So, it's just a thing of just to see what is good for me, And I'll be really briefly because I don't want to take your time, guys.
Too late, dude.
Hopefully you have more, more people call the show. I just have a concern because I'm just after my my revision hair transplant that I did with Dr. Lupenzula back in May, and everything is going well. But around like 3 weeks ago, just in my hairline, not just in the recipient area, just on my hairline, I start to have a little bit of yellow kind of acne spots, and now it's getting worse. It's not in my recipient area, it doesn't look folliculitis, but this yellow spot is like I have more now in my hairline and in my forehead, in my cheek. I never had this in my life. I don't know if it could be something related to the hair transplant in terms of the oils and everything. I don't wash my hair often with shampoo. I try to avoid to wash too much with shampoo to not remove the oils. And I don't know, could be something else. I don't know if you guys ever heard something. about the hair transplant.
Let me interrupt. You're saying that you're getting pimples on your forehead or in the hairline where the work was done?
The work was done, in the middle of the recipient area. I don't have anything. It's just when my hairline.
Hold on. The recipient area is anywhere on your scalp where the grafts were placed. It's anywhere. So the hairline could be the recipient area. The crown could be the recipient area. The interior, the anterior mid scalp could be the recipient area. It's wherever incisions are made and grafts are placed.
Was in the airline. Was in the airline. My pimples just start. I just have a few. I have one red bump that I sent to Dr. Penzula and just said, just keep an eye. Probably just hair growing. That I see hair growing actually, from that medium month.
For surgery? When did you have it?
Was like from 3 months ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounds normal actually. This is what you can expect with a hair transplant. Wherever the grafts are placed, wherever your recipient area is on your scalp, between 3 to 5 months, when you can expect to see the first signs of life. That's what I've been telling people for years. You can see early growth, but whenever that happens, you'll have some hairs as they're starting to sprout will as they're trying to create their new exit point as they're growing, they can irritate the scalp, and the scalp, the tissue tries to attack it, and then it turns into a pimple, and it's very common. I've got a couple on my crown where I just had a procedure 6 weeks ago. Same thing's happening, so it's completely normal. Absolutely.
So I totally agree. I'm not stressed about that. I know it's a process. It's a process of, especially when the skin is scarred. There is more damage.
So listen, man. I don't mean to interrupt. I know you're calling from the UK, and I definitely appreciate the fact that you're telling us that you had your experience with Dr. Lupinzula. But how is everything else besides which is very you are a nurse, so you know this. Besides the very typical type of after effects, which could be ingrown hairs, increased potential of inflammatory reaction to the skin, some acne, stuff like that. How has the experience been?
With the procedure, everything was amazing. Was very smooth. I'm really grateful. Actually, my hair looks, I would say. And now looks compared to my first procedure looks, because I cannot see the full result yet, and I have to do another one as well.
I forgot. Where'd you get your first procedure performed before?
I went to Turkey.
Oh shit, that's right.
I went to Turkey. Yeah, I went to Turkey. Another one. So I did a mistake. You learn. Unfortunately, you have to learn with pain. But you learn, and I learned in the bad way. So,
and that's why we're trying to do some more stuff on Instagram. I'm trying to play around with Instagram Live, and as we do the program, I basically just have the camera on myself, and I'm jerry rigging it so people could hear your calls. But the reality is, when you go on Instagram, when you go on social media, Facebook, whatever it is, the internet is just rife. It's just
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and no one can pay me the suffering that I did suffer, and I'm still suffering. No one can pay, and no one can, no one can say, of course I did the decision to go there. But no one can say, no one can pay me the sleepless nights that I had, and everything. But that is another story,
But that is a very, and I got to cut you off because you kind of speak like you're on television because you don't want them to cut you into sound bites, which I appreciate. But the reality is you are one of the countless walking wounded, the victims of not just, everyone's blaming the so-called black market. Everyone's blaming, these guys who are in this for business. Yeah, they're doing the surgery. They're working on you guys.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, social media and just the perception or the misperception of the fact that, hair Hair transplant surgery is an easy walk in the park. You go for price. It's a
Yeah.
fucking commodity. That is why you are in the position that you're in, and that is why there will be thousands of people waking up tomorrow morning realizing that they've been fucked up.
Spencer, I go like, usually I go to just listen to music or to watch some documentary. And this every single day I watch a clip from, for example, today was from where? Air of Istanbul, saying we are experts in hair restoration, and they have like, I just click on the page, just cross it, just
From where?
Yeah.
You saw a clip from where?
From Hair of Istanbul. It's like they do hair transplant.
Oh yeah, I know who they are.
And that's crazy. They have like a different language, a different person.
Dude, but if you are, and I'm going to make this very clear to everybody again, and everyone who's watching on YouTube, everyone who's listening out there on their radios in their cars through iHeartRadio, everyone on Instagram, all 4.5 people, 5 people, whoever's on Instagram right now. If you're making a decision to have any type of cosmetic surgery because you are attracted to someone's Instagram feed, any Instagram feed or anything else through social media, you are a fucking idiot. Period.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. But the sad thing, people nowadays is what they know. They go on Instagram, they think everyone is real. They think everyone looks awesome, and they want that. They want the perfection. I think nowadays is more than the clinics are offering. Is more the pressure that social media puts in us.
Look, there's nobody spending their time producing content for Instagram except for these idiots here that you're listening to that, in my view, are not trying to sell you anything. If there's a doctor on Instagram who's spending time, a lot of time, who has a social media manager, there's a reason for that. It's all about business. Now, is that necessarily a bad thing? If they're doing great work, no, but you can't really tell because everyone has to kind of compete in the same lowbrow manner in order to get your fucking attention. So it's very difficult to make a decision. And if you're making a decision based on social media, then, like Joe said the other day, maybe you deserve it. I hate to say it. I don't like to see anybody, not you personally, but I don't like to see anybody harmed.
Yeah, of course, I understand, Yeah, of course.
But it's come on already.
I think as well nowadays, people, they don't know the risks, especially for hair transplants. When I went for my hair transplant, I didn't know that I had just a certain amount of grafts that I could have, And I thought that I have a lot of hair that I could transplant, and I didn't know what could happen to my donor area. And now I'm way more aware, and poor are those patients that the donor area destroyed, and they are now root 4 or 5 or even 3, and they have to stay with that plaguey hair for the rest of their life. Do you know how it can represent for a person, especially for a person that psychologically is unstable?
Dude, you don't even have to be psychologically unstable. You will become psychologically unstable or less stable by being disfigured by this industry. And that is the point. That's why these motherfuckers are so mad at me, for the last 20-some-odd years. That's why Joe and I have been in the crosshairs. What was that?
Is the truth. This is like, we call it the black market now, This is like, They are like kind of gangsters, if we can call that way,
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear, it's no different than it was 20 years ago or 25 years ago.
It's worse than it was 25 years ago.
Well, it's just scaled. It's the same. It's just scaled, in my opinion.
And for example, an actor in this video that I clicked into, I was watching clearly, I couldn't see any microscopes to dissect the graphs. I couldn't see infection control measures, There were everyone in the room, Even patients coming from the United States, they bring the mother, the father, with proud, they'll do something right, And actually, one of the patients, the mother, is there on to saying, oh, this clinic is so good, it's so amazing, they offer free hotel, free car pickup from the from
They
the
all
airport, and I was
do.
like,
Every clinic in Turkey has a car pickup. Every last one of them. They all have, they say, 2 nights or 3 nights, whatever, at a 4-star or a 5-star resort. Newsflash, in Turkey, a 5-star resort is like a 3-star in Western Europe or the States. I mean, they're nice. Don't get, I'm not picking on them or anything, but it's not a big deal. And when you are picked up at the airport, they say luxury car transport and transfer. It's a regular, like a C-Class Mercedes, sometimes maybe something a bit better, or maybe a 5 Series BMW. Who cares? You never been in a decent car before? It's like...
Well, here's the reality. When people tell me and they speak to me about, oh, I just had such a great experience. Everyone was just so nice and helpful. That's great. That's terrific. Terrific. You know what counts? Results. Period.
Of course.
Anybody could be fucking nice. You know when they're not nice? As soon as you start complaining, then all of a sudden you're ghosted.
Yeah.
And in some cases,
it's true.
It doesn't matter if you're happy or not. They don't even know, because once you leave, you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
That's a big deal for me. The follow-up is a big deal.
I get amazing as well that they do as well. They say in some clinics there in Turkey, oh, we have guarantee for 20 years. What that means, 20 years of guarantee, if you are buying a microwave or a car or something like that. Hair transplant guarantee. No one can guarantee anything.
Look, if someone is giving you a guarantee, if a physician is giving you a guarantee, you're getting a guaranteed piece of crap. If a company is giving you a guarantee on any hair loss product, I'm watching this commercial. There's a television commercial now for one of these laser caps, and they're giving you a 1-year guarantee. And then you look in the fine print, but at 25% restocking fee, and whatever the other fees are. You know how cheap these laser caps are? If you buy them in bulk?
Is 4 times more than what it actually costs.
Absolutely. If you just return it, they're making money. In my view, it's unbelievable. And if anything says in the bottom that they talk about this particular cap being going through clinical trials, and in fine print that it was a small private clinical trial. Come on, you know what I can do when it's time for me to sell out, and I will sell out in a few years and sell laser caps myself. That's going to happen. Just letting you guys know. Well, it may happen. I'm going to have the exact same small print. I'm going to have the exact same small print, everything that you're doing. And basically, my thing is going to be like, is it going to work? I don't know. That's it. And they're going to buy it from me because we're the American Hair Loss Association.
Someone in the chat room just asked if a doctor's growth guarantee is sketchy. Let me break this down, okay? So what happens when you go to a clinic and you fill out the paperwork, you have the surgery, and up front, you may even ask about it for clarification, that they have a growth guarantee. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that, if it's obvious that some of the grafts didn't grow, then they'll redo the procedure at no cost to replace what they think are the number of grafts that didn't grow. That's not a guarantee. It's a guarantee that they'll do something, but it's not a guarantee for the growth.
And it can happen again,
I was actually waving. I was not waving at you. I was waving at everyone on Instagram because I had to shut off the Instagram.
Okay. So what does that guarantee have to do with your growth? Nothing, because the hair that didn't grow is already gone. It's wasted. It's not like if you go to Best Buy, or in the UK, you go to, I forgot what the electronic stores are there. It's not like you go to an electronic store and you buy a television that has a guarantee, it blows up, you go back and they give you a new TV. The world is not doing without an extra TV. It's like they'll just make a new one. You can't make new hair. So a growth guarantee is bullshit. I don't care where it comes from. I don't know if I know the doctor and we're friends. I don't care if I work with him. Growth guarantees are horseshit. It's just designed with one purpose in mind: to get your ass in the chair. Period.
But I think about how many people are buying this laser cap, which is great. You know, good for the company. I think the guy actually owns the company, a nice guy. You know, I mean, I see nothing wrong with these things at this point, at this stage. Some people are claiming that's helping them, whatever it is. But just the language that's used, the way that the way that it's being marketed, as though it is just, you know, another really great tool in their arsenal. And basically, they compare it against, you know, drugs and surgery and all this stuff, and, you know, price comparison as far as long-term costs of the unit compared to taking medication or compared to risky surgery. I'm just like, fuck, man. It just never ends. It doesn't matter if it's 1996, you know, 2006 or 2019. It's just the same shit repackaged and just put out there again. It's the same narrative, the same fucking nonsense. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I know I could beat these motherfuckers if I decide to put out my own product. I can get the venture capital like that. Why don't I just do it and just let people know the truth? Look, yeah, there's a clinical trial. We had some success with it. There's the exact same level of diodes and as everyone else is selling. We're going to make it less expensive for you. And your purchase is going to help educate consumers. Period. Will it work for you? I don't know. And that's it.
Okay. Can I just ask some questions? It's quick questions, if you don't mind.
If you don't mind, we have a lot of calls, so if you could ask one question, that'd be great.
One question, okay. When I was asking about the pimples, because I was worried, because the same pimples that I have on and off in my recipient area, that is normal. I have them now on my forehead and both on my cheeks. I don't know if you guys came across of any kind of person that did a hair transplant and developed like some kind of acne. I think it's more like fungal acne in the face. That is, in that question, I would like to ask if I can use, although I don't have dandruff, if I can use, it's been like 3 months, if I can use probably to see if it's from my hair, if I can use some Liserol at 3 months of my hair transplant to kind of to see if there is any fungal or bacteria from my hair that is coming down to my face.
I'll let Joe answer that.
I'll say this about your normal hair washing routine. I think that if you ask Dr. Lupinzula about this, he will agree. He will agree with me when I say that you need to be washing your hair every day. And I understand your position on not wanting to strip away the oils. I get it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're recovering from a surgery, and when you're recovering from a surgery, and you've got, you know, these issues developing, your scalp needs to be as clean as possible. So you do have potential of these oils migrating down on your scalp, and maybe you're getting some increased hypersebum production that's causing pores to be plugged. But you need to take your normal routine, throw it out the window, and talk to Dr. Lupinzula about a medical recovery routine, because it's vastly different than what you need to be doing, or than what you are doing. So your Nizoral will help with that, and if you do have any sort of fungal buildup, that can help with that. I'm not a dermatologist. I'm not a doctor at all, but this is based on my own experiences, and just for me, it's just common sense. You want your scalp to be as clean as possible, especially after you've recovered from a surgery. Maybe at 6 months or 7 months or 8 months you can return to your normal routine, but talk to your doctor about this.
I'm washing every day, but I'm not washing with shampoo. For example, I wash with water, and I just wash with shampoo 2 days. In your case, I know you are not a doctor, but you have experience, and you went through these. Can I, for example, did you wash every day with shampoo? Is okay to be washed with shampoo every day?
Yeah, of course it is. A clean scalp is a happy and healthy scalp. This whole idea of skipping days, not using shampoo, worrying about sulfates and all that stuff, that is so ancient. it's just nonsense. And people really brought at least shampoo manufacturers and people in the hair industry made that type of those type of statements just to sell their own products. Period.
Yeah, I'm so afraid because people say, oh, if you wash like every day with shampoo, your hair is gonna be greasy. You're gonna have more dandruff, and your oil's gonna be really
stupid.
People are idiots, and I can tell you this: look at what we were brought up with, like Johnson & Johnson baby powder. Now we're finding out that there's fucking asbestos in these products. Okay, and these are supposed to be the safest products known to man.
They're for babies.
They're for fucking babies.
Asbestos powder.
What kind of shampoo
I remember as a kid being like covered with this baby powder. I don't even know how I'm alive. My entire house is filled with smoke.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
It's unbelievable. Now there's now you see these class action lawsuits, Yeah. If you use Johnson & Johnson products and you have ovarian cancer, penis cancer, this cancer, that cancer, you may be able to get compensation. It's like,
actually,
holy shit.
I switched my shampoo, like a few weeks ago for like kind of natural, without perfume and everything,
Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. There's all kinds of parabens and all kinds of shit. I got it, but it will not affect your hair. Your hair, it doesn't.
I was going to say, it's like if you want to use a shampoo that's clean. I mean, you can get paraben free and sulfate free. It's just you just need something that lathers up on your scalp to wash all the oils off.
Right.
Actually, you can go sulfate free. You can go paraben free. There's nothing wrong. Like I was doing that with my favorite shampoo, Pai Shao. Great shampoo. Smells awesome. It doesn't have any of that stuff in it. Really, really felt good on my scalp. But it's like it's still shampoo. And the reality is, I got kind of tired of ordering it because I got to wait for it, and it's like got to track it, and I got tired of it. I just go to the drugstore and I get some what I get. I forgot the name of it, but some regular drugstore brand.
I just bought a new shampoo today, some Aveeno shampoo. I mean, it just looked like it smelled good, and or when I would shower, like Common Law would have whatever. I mean, like every week there was a new shampoo. I didn't know what the fuck I was putting on my head.
Sure.
Sure.
There is this new thing. I don't know if you guys know that it's like no poo method. They mean no shampoo. So basic people can go 1 year, 2 years without.
Oh yeah, and there's guys there are guys that are also trying to stretch their foreskin so that they could have, they could look like pre-circumcision. I mean, this is a crazy fucking world we live in, dude. Stay off the internet, first of all. These guys these guys, they're buying dick weights.
Dick weights, I was going to say, yeah.
And just one more quick question, quick, please. What can affect, in your opinion, the growth after the hair transplant? One of the major or two things that can affect the growth.
Hang on, do you mean affect it negatively to prevent it from growing, or prevent it or affect it positively to?
What can affect negative the growth, or what can
diet, smoking, and really getting your head sunburned?
No.
Okay.
I'd say to some degree, smoking can definitely affect the growth of your hair transplant.
I have never seen a case. I've never seen a case of that. I've never seen a case.
You don't think sunburn? I've seen a bad sunburn actually.
Like it would have to be really bad sunburn.
But there's no doubt that at least the healing process in general for every type of surgery is going to be affected negatively by smoking. And I miss smoking.
There's one case, but it's. In general, I mean, it's you're constricting blood vessels, you're reducing blood flow, which is the opposite of what you want to do. But I've seen, I clarify, I actually have seen one case where I think maybe smoking had a hand in the bad.
You do have to be a heavy smoker, though. You have to be like at least a pack a day type of. Well, that's not even that heavy for some people, but I would say.
And if you are a passive smoke, for example, when I go in a bar, I don't smoke, but sometimes I'm in smoking area with some friends.
This is what you got to do. Listen to me. This is what you got to do. You got to get yourself a bubble suit. Okay, you got to stay indoors at least a year if you want these grafts to grow.
No.
Dude, the passive smoke, nothing's going to affect you. I mean, you really have to do yourself a lot of self-harm, meaning that you have to be like just a ridiculous, drug addict smoking, 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
You actually have to try.
Yeah, you have to really try for those grafts not to grow unless they fucked you up.
Yeah, no, I just been locked at home like 1 month. It's just that, and after I'm just living my life, basically now normally, as I can,
Live your
So,
life.
actually-
Live your life normally, and just enjoy what's to come.
Actually, I'm going on holiday next week, so I'm going to Ibiza for 1 week. So hopefully the weather's going to be cool, and I'm going to always have
Ibiza,
my
man, that's the
house,
place to go. The women are unbelievable.
Yeah, they are sexy, and I like Spanish girls, because I'm Latino, and I
Who
think they are
doesn't?
very warm, Who doesn't? Yeah.
Who doesn't? All right, man. Listen, good luck. Thanks for the call.
Thank you
I always
so much,
appreciate
guys,
you
again.
calling from across the pond, man.
I appreciate it, and thank you so much for guys to put me at ease and for this great advice.
No, you got it, man. And my hope is that this doctor has this portion transcribed, so that more guys can actually hear and understand what you're saying. I mean, I got most of it, but listen, dude, I'm really glad we're able to help. We're here for you every week.
Yeah,
so,
thank you so much. When I have any doubt in terms of hair and even in life, I always come to you guys. I prefer, of course, you guys are not doctors, but you have experience, and that for me is more important than sometimes is going for a doctor.
Well,
to be honest,
I appreciate that, and I got to tell you, I was actually, at least this is what Joe told me. So this could be hearsay, but from the conversation I heard, one concern is I am talking about, women not having hair transplants, and I'm not even a doctor. I'm crossing some sort of a line. I'm like,
yeah,
what are you?
I agree.
Are you fucking kidding me? These people come to me. These are the walking women come to me, not to you, man.
Yeah.
All these women who have had hair transplants, who got fucked up, who were told that, a little more hair is going to help you. You could add some derm match. It can give you, a few years. Some of these people are just fucked now.
Yeah, they are the Maria Feller, in the UK.
It's not written in stone through the American Hair Loss Association, through every major mainstream medical resource, that females are basically less than 5% of women with androgenetic alopecia make good candidates for hair transplant surgery. It's not written in stone for no reason. It's because we are the most respected resource in the world. And any doctor who can't deal with that, I'm sorry. We beat you to the punch, man. That's it.
It's just a shame because you guys are not very recognized, And, one day you guys have to close doors. That in that point you're going to be hell because no one will going to be controlling anyone, and telling the truth, and, more like wounded they were going to be, with us, with bad hair transplants and everything, unfortunately.
Well, we're doing our best, man. I appreciate the call. Good luck, and I hope we were able to alleviate some of your anxiety, or what's the word that I'm looking for?
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'm telling you, I hope this guy who I happen to like, I hope his company, whoever transcribed the last show, transcribes this portion, because I want people to be able to understand what this guy was saying.
I wish he'd send it to us or send it to me so I can upload it to the file.
What a fucking waste of resources. Anyway, let's see what this is.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hey, get the transcriber in here. I want to know every word so we can review it.
And whoever believes that you have to be a rocket scientist to see what a good hair transplant is compared to a bad hair transplant, to understand the history of this industry, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. I invented the truth when it comes to this industry. Period. That's it.
I will affirm that. That's true.
So if people don't like the truth to be told because it's going to turn people off from having surgery, what can I do? That's what I do, man. You know what I do, Doc. You know what I do. You've known what I've done for 20 years.
There had to be someone before me, and that was you.
Exactly. I'm old. I'm the original OG guy. That's
You're
it.
the OG?
And that really depresses me. Let's take a call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello, Spencer. You OG motherfucker.
What, dude? I cannot
think.
Go ahead.
I want to thank the last caller for giving me a wonderful image of you covered in baby powder and dick weights.
Listen, Nacho from Staten Island. I can't play your opening anymore.
I didn't think you could.
I got for the first time. We got flagged for that.
Yep.
Well, I imagined if he's not calling anymore and he's bitter because you got a new and improved younger hottie Joe over there. That if you did that, it'd be kind of like something.
Yeah, no. Luckily, it wasn't him because that would have been fucking ultra weird. But who knows? Maybe he was the one who alerted the people who owned part of the music from that opening.
That's next time you gotta have like a contract when you get your little people on board and you make a little intro for them that you own everything. Look, I own this intro. I own this character. Whatever you want to call it.
Listen, if it was that cut and dry, I do actually own his character and I do own all that stuff. I just don't own the rights to the music that was used. But Westwood One owned the rights.
Oh, for YouTube. Yeah.
Westwood One owned those rights. So when I was on the radio, we were able to utilize whatever we wanted because they were paying, what is it, ASCAM? Or whoever they were paying for the rights to that music.
ASCAM? I pay for that too every night.
ASCAM.com.
I was going to say, last phone call, I had a couple other things to say, so I thought I'd call back. And one of the things that I saw that's familiar about this industry, about the hair transplant industry and the doctors, is LASIK.
Yeah.
And it's very similar in many respects, and how you need to be a candidate for it, and it doesn't terminally fix the problem, and whether or not you should do it. And I find it very interesting how when I was younger and I wanted LASIK, the doctors that I saw say, you're not a candidate yet. You're too young because your eyesight's going to continue to, decrease or whatever, probably get worse. And you're still, you have to wait till you're like a certain age, just like they should do with the hair transplant. And they look at you in a serious manner and they give you the actual, all the knowledge you need to understand what you're getting into. And the fact this isn't going to fix it. They're not telling you it's a miracle cure. It's going to, all the dangers about it. And I'm just wondering, why? I mean, it's not as nearly expensive, but it's expensive. I got it when I was I think over 25, and my eyesight's still pretty damn good. But this industry does not follow that moral, ethical code. Most of them don't. They don't sit there and tell you, look, your hair is going to continue. I shouldn't say everybody in totality, but all the problems that we're talking about here. I just find it very interesting how my doctors concerning eyesight gave me all the knowledge I needed, and I listened to them, and I made the right choice, and I got a great effect from it. Over the years, it's actually really served me, and I just find that bizarre. Like how they can't do that with the hair transplant industry.
Well, there's a lot that I find bizarre. Now I'm just reading in the chat room. The guy's like, I can give Trump a run for his money. Trump's hair a run for his money. That's my joke, dude. I'm Trump the early years. But don't fucking insult me on my own goddamn show.
Dude, your hair is way better than Trump. His looks like cotton candy, like tangerine cotton candy.
I know.
That's what his looks like.
I know. Listen, I would if it really affected me. How can I do this? How would I be on camera? I'd be a fucking mess. I appreciate that, though. I'm just giving.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, he's just trying to be a jokester. But you're pretty you've said all that before. But another thing is I saw this guy online on YouTube, and he's like, I'm not going to say his name, but He's an Asian guy, and I just saw one video, so I haven't done a lot of research. But he seemed decently knowledgeable, and he has a channel about hair.
Is his name Hairliciously?
I think something like that. Yeah, he's an Asian guy.
Asian guy?
But
no, okay.
He's an. I think that's it, though. I think you said. I thought it was Hair Curiosity.
Is he a young? Is he a young Asian guy who had hair transplant is now selling products?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
How the fuck long have you been around, dude? How long have you been listening to this show?
I don't dive into this so much. Like I found you, I listened to you, I watched your guys' video, I watched Joe's videos, but I don't go too deep into this. I don't read. I'm not on your message boards. I don't know what people say, about your show, about your callers, anything like that. I just am very lightly touching into it, and I think that's the healthy way of doing it. But I was just, this guy, I don't know how you know him. I don't know how everybody else knows him, but right off the bat, he's selling you the derma rollers, and he calls it his laser caps. And I just immediately thought of you, and I was like, this guy's over here raking in the dough. I mean, I can't really say what he makes, but I'm sure he's making a lot of money. I was reading his comments, a lot of people were like talking about his products and everything. And you're talking about you're going to sell it. I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't blame you, not in the slightest. As long as you're open to the results and the testing, you're honest. I much feel more comfortable, giving you money and buying stuff off you than these other people who are just like you say, they put a shingle up and they start selling these products.
Well, all I can say is, this is the stuff that really, that fucking bird, man. You drive me crazy with that fucking bird.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you could hear it.
It's all right. All I can say is, I think about this. I think about this all. No, don't kill the bird, dude. I was just joking. It's fine. Don't
he just wants me to hold. I live in an apartment alone, and so when I start talking, he's like, "Who this fucker talking to?" He starts making noise, So, anyways, I got him. He won't make noise.
I look at this guy's, and I'm like, Jesus, this guy came on the scene. He had a couple of hair transplants. Now he's selling laser caps, and you're just like, why the fuck not? Sadly, all these suckers are out there buying these things from these products. I mean, this is listen, this is America, man. This is fucking America. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist. I get it. I totally get it. Can't blame the kid. Cannot blame the kid. I don't necessarily believe that some of the advice is as realistic and as straightforward as it can be, especially for young followers, the millennials, the younger guys, the younger generation. What's the younger generation? Millennials and then what?
Millennials.
Z.
I think we're past that now.
Generation Z, right?
Probably.
I don't know.
How can you guys not know that? Are you that old?
Well, because neither one of us are any of those generations.
What was I going to say? I'm texting somebody. What was I going to say? I was going to say something really profound.
How he's selling his own. You're talking about how he's selling his own product, and that you don't blame him, but what gives him.
But it really does show. It's not even what gives him anything. It really does show, in my view, what easy fucking marks all you guys are.
Oh yes.
It's fucking ridiculous. If you're going to go,
it's what the young kids call thirsty. We're thirsty for something, and when you're desperate, that's when you'll drink the snake oil in the desert instead of the water. You'll do anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. It's true. But, when someone starts to provide information, then all of a sudden they're selling something, like out of the blue, they're not in the field. They have no credentials. You're going to be really dumb. And I'm not even saying that the laser cap this guy is selling is not as good as what everyone else is selling. Because it probably is, because everyone gets it from fucking China. That's it. You go to Alibaba.com, whatever it is. You want to buy 100 laser caps? You can get them for a couple of bucks a piece.
And then he's having his logo put on these laser caps because he's ordering enough. Like you get I think the minimum some places is even 50 laser caps, and they'll start putting your logo on it as if it's like your company made it. It's called drop shipping.
Joe's exactly right. The guy's got the serum. He says my serum for the dermal roller. And he's got his branding all over it. Like if he has a lab and he created this stuff, and I'm sure there's people over there who think that he has some, some sort of like say so in what composition the chemicals are in those bottles or whatever. But it's just, you know, when like I said, when you're this thirsty and desperate for a solution, and there's always, you know, a sucker born every minute, they say. There's young people always coming into this, and they don't know like we do. We haven't been educated. They're going to sit there and pluck down that money, and you know, and to me, I'd much rather have someone who's open and honest. And with those laser caps, there's a lot of room for improvement still. Like before I came across your show, I got one of those laser caps, one of the best ones on the market. You know, I didn't pay $3,000 for it because the guy wanted. I said, dude, I'm not that guy. He kept coming down. I was like, wow, he's dropping $1,000 off. He's dropping another $500 off. And once I got him around at $900, he sold it to me. The same cap he's selling to other people $3,000. Like that's the initial asking price. I come and look at it. It looks like it has gelatin covering all the diodes. And I asked him, I go, how could this be giving proper laser light when it's covered with this film? And he goes, that's, to cover the diodes from your oils and your hair and stuff. I go, but wouldn't that diffuse the laser? I don't know, but I can tell you it doesn't feel comfortable in my head. It looks goofy as shit. And it actually does. It actually does diffuse the laser, and anything can diffuse a laser. If you put a piece of paper, think about this: your finger on, and you point a cat toy on your finger, you could see how easy it is to diffuse. It pops all over the place. Yeah. Do you think it's really penetrating your scalp? I mean, really? Do you really think that this is happening? Especially if you have a decent amount of hair in your head. But that's going to be my whole thing. It's like, listen, you want to buy a laser cap? You've been thinking about buying laser caps? Well, we got laser caps, and tell everybody the truth. And the reality is, and part of what you're doing by buying from us, the only laser cap or whatever helmet that's endorsed by the American Hair Loss Association, you're providing hair loss consumers with hope, a little help, and an education about the reality of this industry, period. God. That's it. Can I make a suggestion when you make your own laser cap? Is that, like Austin Powers, you put a shark with a laser cap on its head as your logo, and you call it the laser shark?
I like
the laser shark. That's fucking brilliant. That is fucking brilliant. Dude, we're going to make all kinds of shapes, all kinds of cool stuff, man. It's going to be like a laser biking helmet. Oh
my God, yeah. Space boot, laser boots.
Dude,
you can do all sorts of things.
Dude, you could have an insert for your fucking motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, I wish there was more studies on that, but yeah, like it's funny. The one I got's got this thick, rubbery, clear gelatin film on it, and I was like sitting there going, "How does that work?" Oh, that's just to protect it. I go, "Does it diffuse it?" No. The clinical trials, it has the same what do you call it, wavelength.
Let's put it this way: I can get some well-known doctors who are a little bit, in my view, more telegenic than the particular physician who's been in the field forever, who's promoting this laser cap right now, who can be more compelling. I can get this shit on QVC. I've had a guy sit here in this studio showing me different products that I can sell that they will just manufacture, and all I have to do is slap my seal on it. That is my end game, dude. And that's it. And you know what? I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I will tell everybody on this program, and they can come back in 5 years, because this is going to be in perpetuity, and they're all going to know I am saying there will be a point when I sell out completely, and it's not going to make a difference that I'm telling you guys that. I'm still going to make a fortune.
Rhinestone.
What did you say?
Yeah. Gone. I was going to say you're going to put a sign up, but it's going to be gold plated saying "Gone Fishing."
Yeah.
Remember that? You said you were going to.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
It's got to be platinum gold plated.
Listen, if people are first of all, now there is some anecdotal evidence that some of this stuff works to some degree. So it's as long as it's out there and I have the right guys behind me, fuck it. Why don't we own the game? That's how I feel about it. I'm not going to do it now, but when I'm tired of doing the show or whatever. There's no rush to market with these things. Hair loss isn't ending anytime soon.
Contrary to
true.
what some of these
What-
people are telling you, they're also trying to sell you the laser caps.
Yes.
What about this hair clone thing? You guys think that's another? It's like not
Are you
Replicel, but it's some
dude?
other
I'm
company.
going to hang up on you. First of all,
No. Hey, listen. I'm just trying to ask a question in the field. I'm not asking because I'm thinking about it. You know that, and I'm not asking about it because I'm not 100% not knowledgeable about it. I'm just saying some people will click on this guy's YouTube video, which he was talking about, and other people, and they'll see this hair cloning stuff, and maybe they haven't heard about it yet.
well, are you talking about hair clone? Or are you talking about hair cloning? Because there's a company out there that is now banking people's hair.
Yeah, that's the one.
Think about it. Think about that, man. Just think about that concept. That would throw the entire reality and concept and theory of donor dominance out the window. That would mean if you're over the age of 50, you probably shouldn't have a hair transplant because that hair is not going to be strong enough to grow in a robust fashion. Those cells are not going to be able to generate as well or regenerate.
Now, are you talking about the hair they would pluck out of that guy's head, or are you talking about if he had younger hair and they took that younger hair and put it back in his older head? What are you talking about exactly?
Here's the thing. We're talking about essentially cryogenics, right? We're freezing people's cells. How do they fucking know that in 10 years, when the cure is here, in 20 years, that they're going to be able to thaw those motherfuckers out properly?
I don't know. Are they freezing the cells, or are they just freezing the follicles extracted so that they can take the cells out later?
I'm pretty sure they're. Go ahead.
What I heard there is the knowledge I got to my head was that you have to go there when you're younger, and they take out it's hair from your head, and they freeze it, and then I think they clone it, and then they put it back at a later date when you need it.
That's what they want. Yeah,
and that's what they want. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Here, we're going to try. There'll be a one-time fee, or maybe it's some sort of to hold your shit in perpetuity.
It's like $2,500 just to have it done, just to have the banking process done. I don't know if there's like an ongoing payment set. I would imagine that there has to be an ongoing maintenance fee.
It's like buying a fucking plot. It's like buying a cemetery plot.
Yeah.
You know?
And Replicel, they just want to clone the hair. So, if you can clone the hair in the first place, why do you need to bank it and then clone it?
Because their position is that the cloning process or multiplication process won't be available for several more years. So their position is this: look, the hairs or the cells are better are more easily reproducible when they're younger, because as you age, according to their research or what other researchers are saying, the viability of those cells for reproduction isn't as high. I don't know if I believe that or not, because I've never seen anything that talks about this. Like, this is all new to me. Like, you need to get in when you're younger. It's like I've never heard this before.
It's based on the premise of, there is a company that actually has changed its name several times, that essentially what they would do is they would remove a biopsy from the back of your ear, which is like the least sun-damaged area of your face, of your body, and they would essentially store those cells, those fibroblasts, to be used at a later date to be multiplied and then re-injected into your face to essentially regrow new fibroblasts and collagen. Now, that kind of makes sense. They're running off of that premise. They have no idea currently that, first of all, they don't know if they can replicate these cells. They don't know if they're going to be able to accomplish what they claim they're going to accomplish. And they really have no idea, to my knowledge, that using younger cells for this process will make any difference. None. So in my view, they're selling false promises. That's just my opinion. I'm not stating that as a fact, but I think you have to be a fucking idiot to pay some company who really, you have no idea what direction they're going in. You have no idea how long they're going to last. I mean, look what happened to Adirans. Everyone was talking about Adirans. Everything, these guys are on the cutting edge. And they fucking folded. Well, Adirans didn't fold, but they folded that part of their company.
It sounds a lot like a time heist, which is from the Avengers Endgame movie, except for they're doing it from the future. It's like, we can't fix your hair now, but let's take your money and steal it from the future. And they're going to try and sell you some idea that there's going to be a time when they can fix it. But meanwhile, you're losing money now, and you're maybe losing money later when they experiment on trying to fix it.
I'm sorry. I got a million people texting me at once. Say that again. That was very rude of me. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it's another way of taking your money, which they don't really have an answer for yet. So it's like they're taking your money now with the promise of the future, or at least the hope of the future.
These
so
doctors are not going to, I know doctors are involved in this. They're not going to like me saying this, but the truth is, in my view, as a vulnerable hair loss sufferer myself, or as a former vulnerable person in this position, it's a perfect fucking crime. It's the heist of the goddamn century. Let's take people's money before we have a fucking product. It's brilliant.
Here's some tanks of gasoline to buy.
What do you say?
Here's some gasoline to buy for when we eventually decide to build a car.
Yeah.
Hang on to it.
Absolutely.
The more and more you talk about this type of business practice and these type of doctors, they come across as like hope vampires. They literally sucking off you and your hope and dreams that you're going to get what you want or need or whatever. And that's the shame of it all. You know, it drives me nuts that these particular physicians or whatever companies are sitting here and, you know, they know there's a need, there's a viable, you know, desire within people that they got to have this and they need it now. And they've already got every angle covered for now's hope. Now they're going off future hope. It's like, well, on one side of our mouth, we're saying, hey, we can fix it now with transplants and serums and laser caps. And the other side of the mouth, they're like, we don't got to fix, but in the future we could have.
First of all, the guys that are involved in this are getting old. I mean, they're my age or older, and they're just like, you know what? They're counting the money. They're like, we can probably get 100,000 people to give us $2,500. And that'll help us to fund our company, or we could just get the fuck out of Dodge.
Sorry, didn't work.
Didn't work. Oh, you know what? The cryogenic process failed. Sorry.
We had a fire.
Yeah.
We had a fire and lost our documents in your hair.
That's it.
Your 18-year-old hair follicles.
What's the guarantee?
Whose hair is theirs? Whose hair?
Yeah. What's the guarantee? And how do you know the fuck it's going to be your cells to begin with? Who knows what's going to happen, man? Be a big hair cell mix-up.
That reminds me of the thing that Joe said earlier in the show where he was talking about how they give a guarantee of growth, and if they don't, they'll redo the hair. And I was just thinking, that's like organic milk. It's like, it says organic, but can you count each follicle that did not grow that they're going to, I mean, like, how do you know, oh, yeah, how do you know what didn't work and what did work? Just based upon the fact that you're looking, when you can't even tell, they say, what is it, it has to be more than 50% of your hair loss before you can see that you're losing your hair.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't see that closely, you're not seeing on the top of your head, how do you even know what they're doing up there? You know, like how much they're applying and not applying and guarantees. That struck me is when they said, we'll apply what hasn't grown. It's like, what do they do, 500 grafts? And say, oh, it's just about 500 grafts didn't grow or 1,000 or whatever. How do you know?
Well, okay, so an experienced professional can look at an area. It's not like, first off, you understand, like, if there's bad growth, it's isolated. It's not like every 3 follicles from front to back just didn't grow. It's usually isolated in one area, and you can just tell. But one of the biggest problems that clinics are doing is they're answering patients when the patient says, well, how many grafts per square centimeter did I get? Most clinics have no fucking idea. Like, they're just eyeballing it, and they're just like placing it to where it looks like it's going to be, you know, pretty thick, or maybe it's intended to not look pretty thick. They're just spreading it out to get some light coverage, but they don't know. But they're always going to answer, oh, we think you got about 45 per square centimeter. Well, guess what? Clinics, you just set yourself up for failure, because patients, they get home, they're going to pull out the damn ruler. I've seen people actually cutting out a square centimeter on a piece of paper and sticking it on their fucking heads and taking pictures with rulers next to it, and then counting the hairs, and then contacting the clinic saying, this isn't 45. This isn't 25 or whatever per centimeter square. What are you going to do about it? Well, you just fucked yourself, because now you got to do something about it. And it all goes down to the guarantee. It's like, don't do it. It puts false expectations.
I really fucking, the more I hear about this, and even the people involved in this, I'd say, a couple of people are pretty nice people in that hair clone company, who are, very respectable, fine.
I know some of them, yeah. That some of them are really nice.
Yeah, fine people. But whoever came up with this fucking idea, I don't know, man. I'd love to find out, because I will not think quite as highly of them. Because the reality is, this is a fucking money grab, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing there other than we're going to supposedly take your hair and put it in a test tube or whatever and freeze it. That's what they're saying they're going to do. Like after that, who knows what happens?
They could throw that shit out. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Listen. Let's look at a nonprofit like Locks of Love, for instance. Take a close look. Everyone is like, you see all these kids who are donating ponytails, and Oprah Winfrey getting behind it, and all these people, getting behind it. And I'm like, the fact that the idea is out there that there are children that need hair, that's a great, narrative. But the reality is, if you look at the length of time this nonprofit, and believe me, I was in the nonprofit sector for a very long time and chose to let my 501c3 status expire because I understand the bullshit, in my view, of the nonprofit sector. But with that said, everyone still promotes this particular charity as though it is God's gift to children who are dealing with hair loss. People are confused that it's about children with cancer, when in fact it's for kids with alopecia areata. I think that's correct. But if you look at the amount of years and ponytails that have been donated, and exactly how many wigs have been donated over that amount of time, you would fucking shit. And if you look at the salaries that are being paid, and understand that a lot of this hair can never be used for wigs, it's being sold, and the company, the nonprofit, is essentially profiting or staying in existence and paying its salaries based on the sale of those ponytails. No one knows about that shit. It was exposed a couple of times to the mainstream media, but still goes on. Happens every fucking day.
And it's all under operational costs and salaries, right? Well,
absolutely.
You worked there for 10, 15 years. You think you deserve a bigger salary. How much are you getting versus how much, are you providing for the charity?
Do you know when the 501c, when I had this 501c3, when the American Hair Loss Association was a 501c3 charitable organization, we made a choice not to accept donations, because all the donations that were coming in or that were being offered were from the industry. Every other nonprofit organization in this industry takes money from the industry. Okay? So I said, you know what? Let's get volunteers. Let's not have any salaries. I will not draw a salary as the president of the fucking company. There's never been a dollar drawn from the American Hair Loss Association. And I was getting all kinds of defamatory bullshit about the organization. It's insane stuff. But I just remember this one woman who is in charge, who is a director of some sorts of a nonprofit organization in this field. And she said to me, well, you may legally be a nonprofit, but you're not a real nonprofit. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Well, you're not paying any salaries. You're not, you're not running meetings. You're not, you have no real overhead. You're not taking donations and then redistributing the money. Whatever she said, I'm like, listen to what the fuck you're saying, lady. You're basically saying we're a real nonprofit because the nonprofit pays me $350,000 a year. And we're a nonprofit because we take people out to fucking lunches and on trips and take our members on our executive committees and shit on fucking vacations. They're
saying they're nonprofit because they're spending money on their nonprofit organization as opposed to the people, the charity that it's working for.
Absolutely. So you know what I said? We've never fucking drawn a dime from the American Hair Loss Association. We are the most recognized organization in the world. I could honestly, without a doubt, and this is not just to toot my own horn, we could literally earn millions of dollars for the nonprofit. I can draw a salary that would be reasonable. Say we brought in $10 million a year. I could easily draw a $700,000 salary. No one would blink because of the money that we'd be able to bring in. Just from that aspect of what I do. So all I'm telling the moral of the story is everything is bullshit, people. Everything is bullshit. Everything that you were made to believe that this nonprofit is helping people, that this organization is out there to do good, that like this company Hair Clone, that they've come up with this possibility. I'm going to get a lot of shit about this Hair Clone thing, but this possibility of you guys fucking, in the future, banking your hair, and that this is the most viable option, and this is a viable option that's really going to, come to fruition one day. May not happen today, may happen in a year or two, but you're going to be first in line to get your fucking hair back. Think about that bullshit. All right, rant over. Sorry.
It's like the opposite of the Lego song. Everything is bullshit.
Yeah. That's true.
You guys don't know that. You don't know that Lego
I do.
song?
I do actually. I do because my kid was my nephew was really into that whole thing. I had to take him to Legoland.
Yeah, the industry's pretty. I mean, it's hard not to get depressed, but as much as you and Joe are warning people and telling them, everything's bullshit and not to do this and that, or to think about it and do your due diligence, as much as you guys say that on a daily basis, and it kind of can get, pessimistic and downright depressing, you guys, I would encourage the callers to understand that it has to be put out there. It has to, I don't know, maybe there's other people out there talking about this in the manner you guys are, but I don't know who they are. The only people who I know who are spreading this knowledge.
They haven't figured out how to make money from it, so they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
I figured it out a long time ago. And now we're at the point where, I'm just like, fuck everybody. That's it. I've already done it. I'm not saying that, I don't like to make more money. But the reality is, if that were the case, fuck. I'd go ham on this industry. They have no idea what would happen because
you should do a hair cloning business. Call it hair trafficking.
That you know what? That's fucking funny and sad at the same time.
I love it. Hair trafficking. Hold on a second.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting text. I got people. They want to meet me for dinner.
I can wait.
It's a whole thing. All right, listen, dude. Always a great call. I don't want to get into a whole thing. I hope your leg or your back and your leg and your body is healing. You're doing better.
All right. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm exercising. But thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, man. Listen, I appreciate the call. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
All right. You're welcome. Guys,
right.
have a good one.
Take care.
Here. Right. See you.
I do got to get out of here, but I'll take this last call, and hopefully it's a short call. I'm not going to get out the phone number again because we're not taking any more calls after this. Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hello. Hi, Spencer.
Hi. Who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Antonio from Maryland.
Antonio, man, welcome. What's up?
Hey, how you guys doing? Well, since we got, I guess, a little bit of time, I can give you guys a little recap of what I've gone through in the past years, and then I just got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, and I appreciate all the calls. But you say you're not going to take any more calls, and then every light lights up.
They're hoping that we'll do one of those. Should we take one more? Should we take one more?
Yeah, I just got a booth at one of my favorite restaurants, so it's not going to happen. But go ahead.
All right, Antonio, remind us what's going on.
Yeah. So, I've been dealing with hair loss since I was 17, and then I got my first hair transplant when I was 23 after being turned down by a couple of doctors. But I was at a point where I wasn't happy with how I looked. Thinning and stuff, and my hairline going back. And they were like, basically you're gonna be not happy even after the surgery or something like that, and you may have more hair loss as you get older. But sometimes you're like, I'm gonna be sad either way. So I decided to go with the hair transplant. They call Washington Medical Hair Clinics. They have like 3 offices.
Sure.
One in Rockville, another one in D.C., and another one in Virginia.
I think I know the other.
Yeah. So I did that, and then obviously, it was a rushed decision, and I wasn't happy. So now I'm glad that I found you guys, and it's good to have somebody to talk to. So I thank you guys for that.
Well, I'm glad that we're here for you, man. So go ahead.
Yeah. So then I was like, I gotta save some money because I don't really have. I'm in college right now. I'm about to graduate and start working finally. But right now I'm just, I tried many different things. The first thing I did was SMP, and my mistake was that I tried SMP, but I did it to recreate a hairline. And once again, the artist told me like, this may not look natural. I think that SMP may not be right for you. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not happy with how I look now. So my situation is basically like, I'm willing to try something until, I basically learned that.
So wait a second. So
this is not going to work.
This guy actually said this is probably not going to be right for you, but because he saw that you asked him to do it, he said, fuck it, I'll take the money.
Yeah, I was like, basically, I was like, I want to take the chance. And he was like, all right, but, we try to be as conservative as possible because initially my idea was way worse. And I'm thanking God that I didn't go with my first idea, which was go lower on the hairline with SMP. That would have looked way horrible.
Well, listen, I have to give the guy credit that at least he warned you, and part of that is he wanted to save his ass because he knew that it's not going to be great, but it burns my ass. It fucking chafes my ass, as they would say. I don't know where they would say that, but they say that somewhere. That this guy, he knew, and just like a lot of these fucking doctors, they know that you're not a candidate for this, but they're like, you know what? He really wants it, and I'd really like his money.
Hard decision, yeah. Tough spot for them too, though.
Yeah, a tough spot. It shouldn't be a tough spot for them. Never a tough spot for me not to take somebody's money.
Yeah, I always debate on that because, like, what if like somebody's not happy? Like, will they ask? Can they be like, look, like this is not. I'm not happy. Like, this ruined my life. I want at least like. For you to help me, maybe give me a refund or like try to give me a solution here. But I guess they can always come back with like, we spoke about this. There's nothing I can do.
It's possible that they may help you out, but the fact that they did warn you and they did say this is probably not for you. But if you really want it, listen, heart surgery is really not for you. But if you really want open bypass, bypass surgery, we'll do it. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Well, whatever. As I'm getting older, I'm getting to be more mature, and I'm able to see things better.
Well, listen, we're not here to. I'm not here to give you shit for making the decisions that you made. My this doctor the other day said I was ranting. My rants are really based on the reality that this industry is so fucked up and that you have to call this program. Not because you necessarily made a mistake. You didn't know any better. Someone should have guided you in a safe or the right direction. Anybody with any type of a moral compass would have done so. Now, part of it is, they could think to themselves, well, someone else is going to do it to them, so maybe I can do a better job. I don't necessarily buy that argument. My whole thing is like, you know what? You warn somebody. You tell them, look, somebody else is going to say they can do this for you, and I promise you, it's in my best interest to take your money, but I'm turning that money away because you are not a candidate, and drill it into their heads. It's still possible that they may have been able to keep you from getting it done.
Well, they could have at least just refused it and said, sorry, I don't believe in it. You would have gone someplace else. But I would hope that action of turning you down and explaining why would be enough to, make someone stop and think more seriously about it. I'm sorry for your situation. I really am. I don't like hearing this. Yeah, I mean it's just another story among thousands of how this is happening to people. Thousands.
So look,
of people.
You want a solution? Is that what you're asking for right now? You want to know if you can reverse this? Do you want to know if there's any way that you can, feel better in your own skin? Right now, you're obviously unhappy.
Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to, I feel like I can't really. It's not like a nose problem. Like my nose is too big. I can just get a rhinoplasty and fix it. I feel like this is something that's gonna be like a part of me for the rest of my life. It's just gonna be like dealing with hair loss. Like it's always gonna be on my head until I'm dead, basically.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Like, oh.
That's not necessarily true. You could actually, depending on how much hair you have in your head, you can have, you could have tattoo lasered off. It will fade in time, no matter what they tell you. But the problem is, it may just change color. There's newer lasers out there that seem to be a little bit more kind when it comes to not destroying your hair follicles and getting rid of the pigment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Joe knows a lot about this, so I'll let Joe speak to it.
Well, I'm not real familiar with all the lasers that are available, but where was the work done again? Like you had you were going for the shaved look, and they did did the hairline and coverage and all this stuff.
Okay, so let's say you see people that get like really sharp haircuts, where like they use the knife and everything, right? I thought that I could get that look. But the problem is that my hairline some parts of it were like receding, so like it was really, really thin hair. And so, like, basically, I got, like, a shape-up, but with ink.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what I got. It's not too bad, and, like, I can definitely, like, fix it. I have, like, a plan. I have a plan to, like, kind of, like, make it look better throughout the years, because I know it will fade. It's just going to take time.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this real quick. What kind of hair do you have?
So my hair is dark. It's black. It's thick and coarse.
Okay. What's your background? What's your ethnic background?
I'm Latino from South America.
Okay. And are you shaving your head?
I mean, it's not a good look for me. I think I look better with hair, most definitely.
Okay, so when you had your hairline shaped, your existing hair is what, maybe like a half a centimeter, or like do you have it buzzed? Give me an idea of what's going on.
Oh no, so like I did that, but like I like to keep my hair short on the sides, but long on the top.
Okay, so you had your hairline shaped. Your hairline's okay. So yeah, the hairline's been shaped, but the rest of your hair on top is longer. So you have a severe imbalance going on here, from what it sounds like. So yeah, I mean, the only options are to pretty much laser it out. I mean, you can wait and let it fade. It depends on your skin tone. Like, what's your skin tone? Is it olive, like a kind of like an olive complexion, darker, lighter?
Yeah, like that.
Kind of olive. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, it's really tough because you had this done in such an obvious place, and the hair length versus the shaped hairline is probably a discrepancy that I would imagine that you see very clearly when you look in the mirror. And so you've got the one way to really reduce that contrast is to buzz the top of your scalp, like really short, like a one guard, because you're reducing the contrast with the shaped area and your actual hair. That would probably work. Shaved head, not your thing, doesn't work for you. I get it. May be worth considering just to see how this winds up looking on your scalp. But then aside from that, laser. I'm just not up to speed on the kinds of lasers that would be best for your situation. And that's where you would have to take your time and do research in the form of meeting patients that have actually had it done. So, you got to find someone that advertises that they do tattoo removal, and then ask to meet their former clients. It shouldn't be a big deal. Because if they say, oh, well, we can't because it's client confidentiality, horseshit. All they got to do is ask, hey, can you meet with a new client? Sure, no problem. Sign this form, confidential release, done. Hair transplant clinics do it, so I'm sure that laser clinics can do it too. So
you said
that's
what? Again?
Ask to meet former clients that have had tattoo removal. And ask them if they've done like S&P removal, and if they got S&P clients, ask to meet them, because you got to see what this looks like. You got to see what it looks like. Is it going to create some sort of discoloration? You're going to have probably multiple passes, at least probably two passes to get this to go away. But again, it depends on the laser. It depends on how deep the S&P has been injected into the scalp. So there's a question mark with it. So do your research. Don't just jump on board with the first clinic that says that they got experience, and insist on meeting clients. Don't pull the trigger unless you've met some clients of whoever you're considering.
Got you. Hey, Joe, actually, just to give you a better idea, can I send you some pictures throughout this week of how my situation looks, so you just get a better idea?
Yeah, I can't guarantee when I'll respond because I've been really busy, but yeah, you can send them to me.
Yeah,
just go to my website, hairtransplant.com.
All right, listen, dude. We gotta go. I gotta call this one because I got a very nice person waiting for me in a restaurant right now, and I'm gonna be late.
I have a couple more questions, but I guess I can.
You can call back next week.
Okay, all right. Ask the fucking question. Now I feel guilty. Go ahead.
All right. So, guys,
that was so sad the way that you phrased that, man. You must have really got a lot of good stuff from your parents as a kid.
Yeah. Anyway, so hair loss in the morning. I noticed, my biggest shed is in the morning when I wake up and I comb my hair. Is there any way to decrease that, stop that? Is that common?
Stop sleeping.
You said
that's it, because you got more hair in the morning because you're in one spot for roughly 8 hours at one time, and your head's moving around, so you're going to knock some hairs out. That's all it is. You're not losing any more hair at night while you're sleeping than you are during the day. It's just they're there. You're knocking them out, but they're going to fall out anyway. So that's.
So that shouldn't even be a concern. I shouldn't be worried about that.
Nope. Unless it's excessive, like through the day, like you're actually losing your hair, then talk to your doctor about getting on medication to stop it. But yeah, just generally finding hairs on your pillow more than you do on the floor. It's because you're in the area for 30% of your day.
Okay, sounds good.
Right? Yeah.
Also, Joe, you always talk about not being able to push the hairline higher after a hair transplant, but I know there's electrolysis. I saw Dr. Cooley do it. Is that an alternative to be able to raise the hairline a little bit up higher?
It is, but when I say that, for instance, imagine that you went and had a successful hairline lowering, like the hairline was created, 3,000 grafts for a really nice, strong, low hairline, that cannot be reversed. A shitty hairline can be reversed to a degree. Like if you go in and you like the kid you're talking about in that video that I made, yeah, I mean, his hairline was raised, but it was because there was only a few grafts to deal with to begin with. There's poor growth, bad angles. It was easy to target those. That was easy.
Yeah.
If that were a successful hair transplant, like all those grafts had grown, it would have been a different story.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to hear because my situation is, I feel like it can be fixed with electrolysis. I have another question. This is the last question.
Holy shit. Go ahead.
Last one.
It's really quick. Yeah, I'm taking ProScar, and I'm noticing that I'm really tired. Like it helps me go to sleep easier because I guess I'm just so tired. And I'm also having some ED and sexual a small dysfunction. It's not too bad. It's definitely different.
How long have you been taking it?
I've been taking that for about a month and a half, and I take so it's a 5 milligram pill, right? I split it into 4, and I take it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week.
Okay. If it were me, I would push through. I would just keep going, because a lot of people that do have side effects will have them early on, and then those side effects will dissipate over time. In my experience, I'm not a physician. Another alternative would be to back off to maybe Monday and Thursday, like twice a week. Talk to your doctor about this if you want. I'm not a doctor, but these are a couple things that I've seen people do and have had success with it. Either push through and they go away, potentially, back off to twice a week, and slowly build back up into 3 times a week over the next couple months to see how it works out.
Gotcha.
All right,
gotcha,
man.
Guys.
Listen,
hey,
we got to
Joe,
wrap this up,
you.
man.
No worries, buddy. Thanks for calling.
I just want to say, Joe, you look great, and Spencer, you also look great. And that's it.
Dude, I appreciate that.
He's just trying to get another question in.
Yeah. Just keep saying I look great, man. You can call as often as you want.
We'll give you your own hotline.
All right, dude. Good luck. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Right.
I just want to say real quick, Soren in the chat room keeps asking about stem cell therapeutics. It's no different than anything else out there. You saw something that looked promising, just like every other company out there that put something out there that looks promising. Until it's actually available to where you can walk into a shop or a clinic or whatever and say, hey, I want some stem cell therapeutics treatment or whatever they're going to call it, it's all meaningless. None of it looks promising until you can actually have it done. And that's after it's gone through FDA approvals and the years that it takes for all this stuff to get done. So I'm sorry to be the pulling down the room on this, but all of these companies, all of them, they make their announcements for one reason and one reason only: to get their stock holders excited, so they keep investing money. That's it.
Yeah, and they have venture capitalists, venture capital coming in some cases. They have to make this look like it's really moving in a direction that we all hope it's going to move in.
Yeah.
Sadly, almost 10 out of 10 of these companies, 100% will fail.
That's right.
That's the reality that you guys have to understand. That is why I chose to get rid of that whole future treatment section and not interview these people anymore on the show. One is I opened up the forum to these. You all had access to the most promising scientists in the field, and you all fucked it up. Completely fucked it up. Questioning them the way that you questioned them, basically saying that they were liars because they were supposed to get some information out to the public at a certain point and they didn't, or that you were disappointed with the results. So many assholes in the world. You had access to Anybody, Columbia University, whatchamacallit, Replicel, Histogen, everybody. And you all fucked it up. So I was like, you know what? I get it. You don't want to be called liars anymore. Forget about it. And I closed down that section. And I've decided that, yeah, will we get some views if I have Angela Cristiano on to talk about what's happening in Colombia right now? Absolutely. And maybe I will. But I don't find it to be time sensitive. And I don't want to give anybody, you know, I mean, in her particular case and what they're doing, I mean, they really are making some incredible progress. But anyway, I got to go. Joe's right. Most of it's bullshit. A lot of false hope out there, in my view, and I'm sorry. And, you know, this is just my opinion. So if anybody out there wants to try to send me a cease and desist about torturous interference with the right to do business, that will be shown to the public, and then I'll really go after your asses. But the reality is, if you plan on banking your hair, in my view, you're not as smart as me. That's it.
Interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. Joe, give out the websites real quick.
bellycapelli.forumfree.it. It's the Italian hair loss and hair restoration forum. Lots of clinics sharing their results and patients passionately sharing their stories. Yes, it's in Italian, but every browser out there can translate on the fly, and it's actually a pretty cool website to check out, especially all the stories that patients are sharing. Check them out. That's bellycapelli.forumfree.it. Next up, we got international-hairlossforum.com. It's the French hair loss and hair restoration forum. Again, clinics sharing results, patients sharing their experiences. Check them out. It's international-hairlossforum.com. And finally, we've got hairlossexperiences.com. It's the British, UK-based hair loss and hair restoration forum. Again, clinics sharing results, patients sharing experiences, and lots of efforts behind the scenes by the owner, also a repair patient, helping other repair patients find the answers and solutions for them. That's hairlossexperiences.com. Check them out.
Yeah, and Joe Tillman's personal website, hairtransplantmentor.com. That's everything Joe Tillman. That's hairtransplantmentor.com. Learn about his journey. Reach out to him. Learn about some of the doctors that he works with directly. It's a great site. And it's Joe's. So how can you lose? YouTube.com/hairtransplantmentor is Joe Tillman's personal a YouTube page, which also happens to be where we are housing and doing the live stream of this program. It's tough for me today. So we're doing that for a very specific reason. So please take the time to subscribe to Joe's YouTube channel. Take the time. Please take the time to ring that bell so that you get notified whenever we are live. And if you're watching the show on YouTube right now on Joe Tillman's channel, take the time to push the thumbs up button. Click on that, or icon, or whatever you call it, whatever you young people call it.
The graphic.
It really makes a difference. So fucking like the show, for crying out loud. TheBaldTruth.com for archives of this broadcast. AmericanHairLoss.org for the American Hair Loss Association. Frankly, and this is the reality, it's the only hair loss organization in the world that is not accepting donations, that is not accepting fees to be a member, that does not draw salary, that is 100% voluntary, and is the most referenced hair loss organization in the world ever in history. And I'm sorry there's a lady out there that complained that we weren't a real nonprofit because we weren't paying our God damn it, Joe.
I know.
We weren't paying our, what are they called? Not our members. We weren't paying our executives, not our executives. We weren't paying our the board. We weren't paying the fucking people that worked for the organization lavish salaries.
The employees?
Yeah, taking them out on fucking cruises and dinners. Sorry if you don't think that makes us not a real nonprofit when we were a 501c3. But we are actually a real nonprofit now, not being a 501c3. It's 100% voluntary. There are no salaries paid. Everything we do is for the public, period, and free. The 7,000 emails a month that we get, they're all answered. Well, most of them. For free. So anyway, that always bummed me out that she said that. Not bummed me out, just pissed me off, I guess. Let's see. International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons. That's IAHRS.org. That's the organization to go to if you are considering having a hair transplant. Check them out. I founded the organization about 20 years ago for a reason. Most hair transplant doctors suck, period. Here's a great place to start to do your research. That's it. That's the only reason. We do not sell surgery. You want to go to a place to have an online consultation, a place that is promoting surgical hair restoration, go to Real Self. That's my suggestion. What?
I'm sorry. I clicked on a link. I got a LinkedIn request.
Yeah.
And this doesn't say where this industry is. I don't know what the fuck does. This person might be really nice and really good at what she does, but she wants to make a connection with me, and she's a licensed insurance agent / master hair transplant specialist.
That is fucking. That's a perfect ending to a perfect broadcast.
Licensed insurance agent / master hair transplant specialist. Wow. How does that happen?
I just want to, what's the fucking point anymore? All right, guys, we got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. We may be live on Friday. That's up to Joe and his hangover status, and mine too, I guess.
And hey, don't put me out there, buddy. It's both of us.
Absolutely, we both have a questionable relationship with alcohol. Anyway, just kidding. We're kidding, people. Please, Dr. Mejia. Don't send this information to one of your cronies. This segment. Anyway. Until next time. I don't know if I gave out all the way. BaldTreeTalk.com, by the way, is our message form. Until next time, be strong. God bless. And thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you. Good night.